Hello. So allow me to bring you some inside hospital gist. So I know that you don't like to go to the hospital. When you're sick and you have to go to the hospital, you're just so furious. And of course, you have many reasons why we don't like to go to the hospital. But allow me to bring you some tips on how you can make your going to the hospital better. So let's talk about communication in the hospital when you go with the patient. Let's take the scenario that you've gone with the patient to the hospital, you're at the emergency department, you've been admitted in the ward, and you feel like they are not giving you enough information about your patient, or you want to go to the doctor at every point in time and they're like, no, we already told you people something, or the doctor is not really he's not really listening to you like that, and you feel very, very angry. You feel like it's not fair. Why are hospitals like this, and what's been going on in hospitals and all of that? Yes, my dear, of course you have a reason to be angry, but sometimes we are usually angry because we don't know better. So usually at the emergency department or in most hospitals, especially in government hospitals where we have many patients, because of course it's the clinic, it might be different because they don't have a lot of patients, and so they might have time to really explain to you as you want. But then most of us will also find ourselves in government hospitals, public hospitals. So usually the doctor will tell you that if they have to give an important information about your patient, they need one or two people. Sometimes, I think most times it's two people who clearly understand very well and can be able to communicate to the family what is going on with the patient. This is to avoid repetitive explanations to several people. Yes, it doesn't make sense to you because you feel like at any point in time that you need to see the doctor should be able to explain to you. But let me explain to you why we put up the policy of talking to two people who can then explain to the rest of the family. Imagine that the doctor came in the morning and they have been working maybe a 6 or 7 hour shift. And then in the morning, yes, there's everybody, there are a lot of staffs, but from 3, 4 p.m., the staffs are cut down to almost half of what usually works during the day because they have to do the night shift. And in the night shift, usually is one doctor at the emergency, and night shifts are also very tiring, considering that the doctor has been there throughout the day, and then they're receiving lots of patients. And in the night, there are also patients who have been there who are unstable, who are not doing very well, and who can easily become extreme emergencies or even die. So you have one of your patients in a sea of other patients. Let's say there are 10 patients there. Imagine if at every point in time when a new person come, that one doctor or the two doctors who are there have to explain to every patient or re-explain to every patient carer what is going on. So it can be very frustrating, very tiring, and sometimes we wonder why doctors look tired, they are on the urge, they do not even want to receive any patient, and when you come in, they look so angry. That's because sometimes they are overworked and overcharged. So what can we do to better our experience? Understand with the doctor when they say they need two people to listen, to talk with the doctor for them to explain. Understand that those two people are critical. If you have someone in the family who is a health personnel, you can ask that you want the person to come first so that they can explain better to the person. That way they understand better and they're able to pass the information to the rest of the family. Typically, this is what happens when a patient comes in. After maybe 4 or 5 hours, one carer needs to go and another carer needs to come in. And so if the next carer comes in, we need to restart the explanation of that patient from scratch, which sometimes can be very frustrating for the doctor. So, and sometimes it's not even about restarting. Sometimes it's that the information is not being passed on. For example, a patient might have come in the morning and then you say, we need her blood pressure medication so that she can take them. And the carer in the morning says, yes, I've heard, we're going to bring it. 6 hours later, you come in, you see a completely new person, and you're like, what about the blood pressure medication? And they are completely zoned off. They don't know what you're talking about. They cannot relate to what you're talking about. And they're like, oh, sorry, we're going to look for it now. That is 6 hours later. You, as the doctor, your senses are heightened because you know what could happen if the patient does not take their blood pressure medication. That is just an example. So the next time you find yourself in the hospital, be compliant to what the doctor says. If they say they want to talk to one person which is going to transmit the information to the rest of the family, please be compliant because you now understand why this is so. Also, understand that the doctor cannot come to you every time you have an issue to explain to you what is going on because they have lots of other patients, lots of other responsibilities that they are dealing with. Sometimes you have to call specialists to come. Sometimes you have to find the person doing x-rays to come in the night to come and do. That is a lot of responsibilities they are handling. So the next time you go to the hospital, instead of getting angry that you're not getting information, try to be patient, try to understand, try to be compliant. And if you really feel that they are giving bare minimum of information, then you have the right to move to somebody politely and complain that you're not getting information about your patient. I hope this is helpful. I hope the next time you go to the emergency, you'll be more patient with the doctor. And if they give you information and they say they need to talk to two people, and those people are the ones to relay the information to the rest of the family, you will not get angry, or you will not keep going to tell the nurses that you want to get information or you want to see the doctor and things like that, which only makes everybody more frustrated. If you have a happy doctor, trust me, you're going to have a better information about your patient. They're going to be better placed to take care of your patients. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope that this was helpful.